more on this, we turn to Fox News strategic analyst and chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, thanks for joining us, as you so often do when we see things like this unfolding. You did not want to see this occur. Now that we're watching what's happening there on the ground, your thoughts, and we also have a map that might help you explain your thoughts at this point in time.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I was certainly very disappointed in what took place here, and we've enumerated that for the last week or so. Well, where are we now? You can see on that map there, that is the so-called safe zone or buffer zone right up by the Turkish-Syrian border. And it's about 30 miles in depth. And those two towns that you have listed there are the two towns that the Syrian Kurds have successfully withdrawn out of without any interference from the Turks. Now, what the Syrian Kurds do not want to do is, through that entire swath of yellow there, is pull everybody out of there, because that is their homes, that's where they work. There's hundreds of thousands of people there, and most policymakers would define that as ethnic cleansing. And I think the United States and others will push back on the Turks. But nonetheless, the president deserves some credit here. The sanctions on Erdogan were having some impact on him. Erdogan called the president. We initiated a team over there to negotiate a ceasefire. We got a ceasefire. It seems to be doing fairly well, given ceasefires in Syria are notoriously bad. And we may get a permanent one. So what does that mean to us? Well, what I hope it means is we'll go back to negotiating that yellow area on the map as the buffer zone, and what actually moves south and what stays in place. And let's not use guns to do that. I'm hoping that's where we are. The second thing is the United States has already made a decision to keep some troops in Syria, in the south, at a base called Al-Tanaf. And I know for a fact that policymakers are reconsidering, are there other places that we may indeed have to keep some troops in Syria, over by the Iraq border, or in southern Syria as well, for two reasons. One is to keep our foot on the throats of the Kurds, on throats of the ISIS, because there's 15,000 of them in the area, and two, to make certain that the Iranians don't seize those oil fields. So if viewers take a look at that map, the purple area is where the United States coalition forces are controlling eastern Syria. Up until Erdogan's operation, it also included the yellow area on the top. The oil fields are somewhere down in the middle of that map. 70% of the oil fields in Syria are under our control. That red on the map is the Iranians. They're on the west side of Euphrates River Valley. If we pull out of there and give up airspace control, they will seize those oil fields.
You've covered an enormous amount of ground there, the concerns about ethnic cleansing, the so-called buffer zone, which is actually in reality where many Kurdish people have lived for generations. But you've also sort of expressed that perhaps, you know, there are some things that are not the worst ever, that you have a little bit of optimism. This is Senator Lindsey Graham on Sunday Morning Futures, who also expressed that maybe something good might come out of all of this. Take a listen.
I am increasingly optimistic that we can have some historic solutions in Syria that have eluded us for years if we play our cards right. I'll blame Erdogan for the invasion, not Trump.
We are where we are, so do you share that sense of optimism?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I believe the ceasefire has given us an opportunity, policymakers, to take a deep breath here, consider all the implications of what has taken place, good and bad, and maybe reset the table a little bit. And that is what Senator Graham is talking about. I talk to him 3 or 4 times a day, to be frank about it. But the reality is here, those opportunities are there. And what I'm hoping is that we do leave some presence of forces in Syria working with the Syrian Kurds and the Arabs, and we make certain that we're staying on top of ISIS, but we're also going to protect those oil fields. And the administration is looking at, well, those oil fields, let's try to get the revenue out of those oil fields and return them to the people that have been involved in the fight and protecting them.
Yeah, an incredibly difficult situation. General Keane, thank you so much. Something else to watch, that meeting between Erdogan and Putin coming up on Tuesday, and that's also the date the end of the ceasefire is supposed to be. So, General Jack Keane, thank you so much.
Good talking to you. Yeah.